Hi, I'm Jen Wylde.
And I'm Jarrod LeBlanc.
And you're watching My Freedom Watchdogs. We report on issues that affect your freedom and liberty.
This is not about being a good Democrat, and it's not about being a good Republican. This is about being a good American. And right now, all good Americans need to stand up for our natural freedoms as defined by the Declaration of Independence and guaranteed by the United States Constitution.
Our American founders thought that the freedom of speech was important enough to make it the First Amendment to our Constitution. Freedom of speech gives us the freedom to disagree.
In America, we recognize that human beings have the right to agree or disagree with each other. In America, we recognize that humans have the right to agree or disagree with their government.
West Virginia Senator Jay Rockefeller and Maine Senator Olympia Snowe are trying to start a revolution of censorship. They have proposed the Cybersecurity Act of 2009, which would take the once free internet and put it into the hands of government bureaucrats. This has been in the works for a while. It may not come to vote this year, but don't think that this is going to go away.
Censoring the internet would be the biggest real attack on our freedoms since our government passed the Patriot Act, which obliterated our Fourth Amendment right to privacy. Olympia Snowe was a big supporter of the Patriot Act as well. In fact, it doesn't seem to matter if a bill is proposed by a Democrat or a Republican, as long as the bill is about taking away our freedom, then Olympia Snowe will be one of the first to support it. It is a definite trend. She sits on the sidelines right up until the very end on a lot of issues, but she is quick to support any law that takes away our rights.
Safety is never real. It's only an illusion. The Government Accountability Office has demonstrated that many times over. They recently proved that with less than $150 worth of materials could sneak explosive devices past federal security, assemble the devices, and carry them around freely. So much for the Patriot Act making us safer, proving once again the wisdom of Ben Franklin. We are sacrificing our freedom for nothing. We also know that the Patriot Act is not being used to fight terrorism. It's being used on our own American citizens.
Now, once again, against Benjamin Franklin's wisdom, Olympia Snowe would have us sacrifice even more of our freedom for the illusion of security. And her fear-mongering's been pretty shameless. She actually said that if we don't pass the Cybersecurity Act, we could be facing a Cyber Katrina.
A Cyber Katrina. That's kind of like fear-mongering, wouldn't you say?
I would say so, but I couldn't make this stuff up. Those were her exact words. And not to be outdone, Senator Rockefeller had this to say about the cybersecurity threat.
It is a fearsome, awesome problem. Department of Defense is attacked 3 million times a day.
Obviously, nobody wants the Department of Defense to be vulnerable to cyber attacks, so it only makes sense to take the Defense Department offline. It's hard to believe that they would have sensitive defense apparatus hooked up to the internet in the first place, but if it is, then they need to exercise common sense and take it offline. That doesn't give the government any legitimate reason to shut off the internet for the rest of us. The Cybersecurity Act is not about safety. It's about controlling us.
Here is what the Cybersecurity Act would authorize. The President would be authorized to shut down the internet. It would offer President Obama emergency control of the internet and may give him a kill switch to shut down online traffic by seizing private networks. That would be the end of free speech and the free independent internet press. No more emailing pictures to relatives.
No more social networking on Facebook or MySpace.
No more bargain shopping online or price checking or researching. That's it. Game over.
Over the last decade, Americans have been giving up way too many of our rights for the illusion of safety. We need to stand up and say no to internet censorship. We cannot give any ground on this one. It's way too important. The internet is the most important invention of my lifetime. Jen and I both have internet businesses, so the internet's given us a chance to earn our living online. But the most important thing that the internet has given all of us is a truly independent news source. Not just one independent news source, but many independent news sources. Independent internet media is serving as the people's watchdog, informing us of things that the controlled corporate mainstream media likes to keep a secret. The true value and importance of the internet is that it has become the main tool for waking up Americans to the true nature of our problems. The Cybersecurity Act would allow the government to shut off the internet as an alternative source of information, so that the only version of the truth you get is the corporate government-sponsored version. That is tyranny, plain and simple.
It really almost makes you ask the question, would it have been better if we never invented the internet?
What he really means is that it would have been better for the Rockefellers. That way they could keep their control over the information given to the American people. Consider their Federal Reserve Bank. It's a private bank that we have allowed to print and regulate all money in the United States for almost 100 years. The Rothschilds of Europe, the Rockefellers, and J.P. Morgan established the Federal Reserve, a private bank. Why did we ever allow them to do that? It happened quickly and under most people's radar in 1913. Shortly after that, the same little group of people bought and controlled all major media in the country. This has allowed them to keep Americans in the dark about the true nature of our monetary system for almost 100 years.
Ron Paul has sponsored a bill to audit the Federal Reserve for the first time in its history, so the American people can at least see where our money goes.
But to give them secret authority to create money and credit out of thin air, make deals with foreign central banks, deals with foreign governments, international financial institutions, and corporations, and buy assets, and not even be monitored. I mean, this is unbelievable.
He used independent internet media to gather grassroots support for his bill.
The banksters are on the defensive. The Rockefellers know that they cannot control the independent internet media, and that their control of our money supply through their private Federal Reserve Bank is being exposed as something that we should not tolerate. J. Rockefeller's job in the Senate is not to protect the American people. His job is to protect the Rockefeller family fortune, which independent estimates say is in the trillions, making Bill Gates look like a bit player.
Unfortunately, the days of sitting back on the couch, watching TV, and hoping that our government leaders are going to do the right thing, those days are over. We are living in a time when all good Americans need to act. Olympia Snowe is not supporting an audit of the Federal Reserve. She is lurking on the sidelines, as usual, waiting to see which way the political winds are blowing. Contact her and remind her that she still works for the people, and we want an audit of the Federal Reserve to see where our tax dollars go. And tell her very clearly that if she acts to take away our freedom of speech by shutting off the internet or censoring it in any way, she will be fired. This has been My Freedom Watchdogs. Thank you for watching.
Let's keep each other free.
I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the grade. And though the news was rather sad, well, I just had to laugh.